Welcome to my review of the Meta AI glasses, the Summer Spring 2026 edition. I've had them for a few days and I have some thoughts. Let's talk about them. So the version of these glasses that I have is the Meta AI Adventurer model. I have them in the ruby color and I also got the transition lenses. The design of these glasses are actually pretty cool. Like they're actually fashionable glasses. These are very thin for them to be a computer on your face. Like the weight isn't too bad. I've had them on my face for about 6 hours to 8 hours at a time, using them over the weekend throughout the week. And I never really noticed they were on my face when it comes to being regular sunglasses. They feel like regular sunglasses. The style of them, I think, are actually pretty cool. I got the ruby color and I think it blends in with my skin very well. I got a lot of comments on the first impressions videos asking, is the ruby color feminine? It just really depends on your skin and your tone and what type of style that you like to rock. I'm rocking the ruby right now and I think they look masculine enough for me to wear them. Now these glasses were still made by Luxottica, so it still gives that premium feel. Once you take these glasses out of the box, they really feel very premium. I do have a couple of nitpicks with the design of these glasses though. They don't come with a rubber bridge for your nose. The bridge on these glasses are from the same material that the glasses are made from. So when you're sweating or have a little moisture on your skin, they tend to slide down a lot. And you wouldn't get that with rubber pads. I understand the decision making for it, but when it comes to real world use, it actually becomes a problem sometimes because it's hot right now. It's the middle of the summer. So you're going to be sweating with these glasses on. And that style that they use for the bridge is going to have them slide down. So that's definitely something to think about. Now let's get to the camera. The camera on these glasses are a 3K camera, which I think is an okay quality for the use case that I use it for. The camera still has an aspect ratio of 4:3, so it's designed for vertical footage for Instagram Reels, TikTok, things of that nature. But the videos are actually pretty good. I'll throw some playback up of the videos that I've taken over the last couple of days. But I do think that the cameras are decent enough for what you're using them for. The thing that I want to emphasize with these glasses are convenience. So instead of me having to pull out my phone from my pocket and press record and do all of that stuff, I can just tell the glasses, take a video, or I can hold the action button at the top of the glasses and it'll start recording the video. When it comes to photo quality, I wouldn't use these glasses for taking photos. If it's something that's just has to be done right at that moment, then I'll snap a picture. But for the most part, I'll pull out my phone to take a picture. But for video purposes, for me to keep my hands free and tell the glasses to take a video for me and it has a nice POV of what I'm looking at, I feel like that's unmatched and I feel like that's the best use quality for these glasses. And speaking of telling the Meta AI to do stuff for you, they has an AI assistant in there. I don't really use it. If I do use it, it's for something that I need like real quick, like, hey M, what is this thing that I need a random fact for? And that's probably the most I would use it for. I just don't use the glasses as an AI assistant. One, because it's a Meta, and two, because if I was to use an AI assistant, Meta wouldn't be the large language model that I would use. I would probably use Claude or ChatGPT. The audio on these things, I don't really have that much great to say about the audio on these glasses, but they are glasses. They do what they need to do. I think where the audio excels for glasses for these is phone calls. When you take phone calls and just have one person talking or one thing going on and it's just a voice from the ear firing speakers on these glasses, I think that is the main part when it comes to audio. The phone call is loud, it's audible, and it does as intended. When it comes to listening to anything other than somebody talk, i.e. music, watching a TV show, podcast, it doesn't hold up that well. Music is horrible. I wouldn't even listen to music on these things if I was paid to. I just can't do it. The bass is horrible, the mids are all right, and the highs are just, the music quality is bad, and I would not use these as headphones. The only time I would find myself listening to music on these things are if I'm inside of a room, a very quiet environment, and I'm scrolling on TikTok and music just has to be playing in the background. That's the only time I would actually hear music playing out of these things because it's a bad listen and I just wouldn't recommend it for anybody. Now, when it comes to the sound environment, when you're listening to these things, y'all do have to realize that these are open ear glasses. So there's nothing inside of your ears while you're listening to these things. So all of the outside environment you're hearing. So if you're in a loud environment and you're trying to hear something coming from these headphones, you won't really be able to hear it that well, even if you have it turned up at 100% volume. These are designed to be used in a quiet environment or mid to quiet environment, so you can actually hear the things coming from your glasses. Now, when it comes to the microphone quality, I called a bunch of different people to see how my voice sounded to them. But they were non-tech people and they would just say, okay, like if they can hear me, they would say your voice sounds fine, which is good for 80% of people that you're calling. But as a tech consumer and a tech reviewer, I had to test out the mics for myself. Now these glasses have 6 mics on them and the mic quality is pretty decent. It's on par with your AirPods, with your AirPod Max headphones, any really decent quality audio earpieces, earbuds, headphones, they're on par with those. The mic quality isn't bad, which should be expected because most of the things are the wireless headphones that you're using are close to your face like this. So it's picking up your voice pretty well. I have no qualms about the mic quality. And here is an example of the mic quality. This audio is coming directly from the headphones. This is what the mic sounds like. I'm speaking in a very direct tone. My AC is off in the house right now, so this is a very quiet environment. Probably the quietest environment you can hear this mic going, but this is how the mic sounds. Now, when it comes to the batteries for these glasses, Meta quotes about 8 hours of battery life for these glasses and 36 to 48 hours. I think it's 36 hours, but I'll put it on the screen. But in the real world, the uses that I got, I started them at about 4 a.m. in the morning, and then it ended at 10:33. They went completely dead from 100% to 0%. 100% at 4 a.m., 0% at 10:33 a.m. So I got 6.5 hours off of these glasses with, I think, minimal usage. I wasn't using them a lot. I was listening to a couple of podcasts. I would just have them on my face doing nothing, just playing notifications from my phone. I did a call with them. I took a couple of videos and they died about 6.5 hours in. I put them on the charger around 10:43 and then they were charged up around 11:36. So it took about 53 minutes for them to charge from 0% to 100%. And I think that's actually pretty good when it comes to charging. The battery life, I think, can be more than what I got out of them. I think I was using them a good amount. And when you start using that video and those cameras and the AI features and stuff like that, you start to run the battery down a lot. I found that the video feature definitely runs the battery down a lot. But the quick charge time, 53 minutes from 0 to 100, and you get another 6 to 8 hours out of them, I think that's a plus. Now, for my particular glasses, I have the transition lenses. Not everybody's gonna get the transition lenses. They come in regular lenses, prescription lenses, sunglasses, and they also come in transitions. I opted for the transitional pair. They're not the best. I'm not a huge fan of transitions. They don't get very dark. I don't like the bright sun, so I have very dark sunglasses. And these do not get very dark even in the bright sun. They'll block out some of the UV rays, but it doesn't block out a lot. I'll put a video up so you can see how dark that they get. Also, a big caveat for me is they don't get dark inside of the car. I understand the physics of the why they don't get dark inside of a car, because cars have a UV laminate over the windshields and the UV rays aren't hitting the lenses, so they can transition into sunglasses. But I wear sunglasses in the car. I have not really found the transition lenses to be useful for me, but that is my particular use case. When I was outside for a good 5 minutes and it was sunny outside, they did transition, and they transitioned pretty fast. I was okay with that, but once you go inside and there's still sun shining from the outside, it'll go right back to clear. So you're right back to being in those UV rays. So that's something to consider if you're thinking about getting the transition lenses. If you watch my first impressions video, you'll see how the app control worked with the Meta AI app. I think it's pretty easy, it's pretty seamless. The setup didn't take that long. I do really appreciate the automatic sync when you take your photos and your videos. By the time you open your phone in the next 30 minutes or so, all of your videos that you took and all the photos that you took are already there on your phone. And you can set it up to where it automatically goes onto your phone photo album. So I think that's a really good thing. I don't really open the app that much. It does alert you when the battery is fully charged. It alerts you when your battery is about to die. It gives you useful notifications, and you can toggle which notifications you want. on and off inside the app. So I think the app, the companion app for these glasses is pretty decent. I think these Meta glasses are for creators, travelers, cyclists. I think there's a pretty good use case for these glasses. If you're an average user that thinks you just want a camera on your glasses, but you're really not gonna use them like that, don't get them, just use your phone. But if you're doing something that requires hands-free work a lot, especially if you're in the creative community, I'm a photographer and a videographer. I use it for behind the scenes of short film shoots, photography shoots, might be driving and I want to show something about trucking. Like, I think it's good for those use cases. But if it's a use case where you can just pull out your phone and use it, pull out your phone and use it. You don't need these. If you want something to listen to music, podcasts, anything like that, don't get these. These aren't for that. Just get some regular headphones, get some regular AirPods or something like that and use these. These I would not prioritize if you just want to listen to things on the go. These glasses feature a touch interface. It has a hard on-off switch and it has an action button at the top. All of these buttons are easy to get to. The on-off switch is if you want everything to turn off, you don't want it to connect to anything like that. I found that I've ghost pressed the touchpad a couple of times, and if it slides off your face, there's sensors on here, so it'll just keep on making that meta noise to let you know that it's on your face. I found that pretty annoying, but that comes with the bridges being from the same material that the glasses are actually made out of. So the sliding down your nose, it'll keep triggering the sensor telling you that they're off or on your face. The touchpad on the side is pretty cool. You go up for volume up, and then you go down for volume down. You can click it once for play pause. The LED light indicator, it works pretty decently. If you're out in the bright sun, people are not gonna see that white light. And that leads me to the privacy factor. Now, beyond the hardware, these glasses are still made by Meta, which leads to a bunch of privacy concerns in general. These are good hardware, but they're made by a company that doesn't really practice good privacy concerns at all for their consumers. There's a lot of cloud processing that gets done when you take a video and then it has to sync it to your phone, it sends it to the cloud, it stores it in the cloud. You really don't know where your media is going. There was an article that came out about like the SVG, that when you're accessing the actual Meta AI assistant on here, that the camera will just come on and you don't know who's accessing that stuff. It's just a lot of things that aren't privacy focused when it comes to using a Meta product. So regardless if the hardware is good, I still want y'all to know that these are a Meta product. I'm not gonna make an opinion based off it, but I think you should. Always read the terms of service, always read the privacy policy, and always know what you're getting into when you're buying a device like this. Now, when it comes to the stigma of wearing these type of glasses, a lot of people have made wearing these type of glasses fall into the creepy category. I've actually found myself actually taking off the glasses and going like this when I'm around people, or not around people, but when I'm talking to a person, because I'm aware that people know that I'm wearing AI glasses. Not everybody knows that they come with LED indicators telling you that they're recording or about to take a picture. There's even been people that's been taking out the LED indicating and drilling a hole in it to make it look like just a regular thing, and you can't see if somebody's recording or not. And I found myself just taking off my glasses when I'm talking to people because I don't want to be rude. Imagine somebody coming up to you and they just have your phone and they're just like this the whole time, and they're just like, oh, how are you doing today? You're doing good? Oh, great, you're doing good. It's a weird thing. That's how I think people think when you're wearing a camera on your face. It's like you're pulling out your phone and using your phone right in the person's face. So I just try to be courteous and respectful of other people, because some people just don't like being recorded. I understand in the public place, you're just susceptible to being recorded and stuff like that. But when it comes to respect, sometimes you just have to be respectful. And I'm very mindful of that because I know these are cameras on my face. So I just usually take them off. Overall, these are good hardware. There's nothing really bad I can say about the hardware except for the speakers, but they can only be so good because there's not that much space inside of the actual arms of these glasses to create good bass. But I think the speakers can get better. There's a bunch of small tech that is phenomenal when it comes to speakers. But overall, the hardware is good, the camera quality is good, the mics are decent, the audio is but I think it's a good buy. These particular models, like I said in my first impression videos, the one that I have, the transitions, these are $399, but they start at $299. That value coming from Luxottica, remember, Luxottica is a glasses brand that makes good quality glasses. So even buying a non-smart glasses pair from Luxottica, you're gonna pay about the same premium. So $299 for the base price of these glasses, I think is a good buy. I think these glasses have value. I think these glasses have good use cases. I would recommend them to somebody, but I would still tell them, hey, these are Meta glasses. But other than that, it's good hardware. You should go out and try you a pair. I'll see you soon. Peace.